Hello there. My name is Patrick Holt, and I grew up in North Vancouver, Canada. And I've been overseas for about 15 years. And my wife and two children and I have had the privilege of living in Taiwan, Doha, Qatar, and we currently make our home here in Singapore, where I am the the director of educational technology at GEMS World Academy. My role in a nutshell is supporting educators and educational leaders in integrating digital pedagogy and the supporting technology into their curriculum and into the practice of everyday teaching and learning. I also oversee a little bit of the hardware and infrastructure that goes on behind the scenes and makes all those bells and whistles work in the school. So I have a pretty broad role, and on top of that, I teach a class of individuals and societies, which is MYP2 or grade 7, and so that also keeps me directly connected to what's going on in the classroom, which is something I really quite appreciate. My career as an educator has spanned nearly 25 years. I started probably as a youth worker. I've worked as an outdoor educator, backcountry guide in public schools in Canada, and then eventually I became an international educator. I generally feel that my philosophy of teaching and learning is pretty much rooted in my experience as an experiential educator in the outdoors, because I feel that learning is best when it's authentic and it's actually experienced, and that's how I think learning actually lasts, when it's embedded in our brains in that way. I've always been drawn to the ISTE framework because I think it reorients teachers from being sort of sage on the stage, owners of the knowledge, to becoming those people that just facilitate learning experiences for young people. And I really think that that's what ISTE does, is it helps shift people in that direction to a more authentic way of teaching and learning. I really think that looking at teaching and learning in a different way is so important in today's world that has become so volatile and unpredictable, and children are going to move into a very different place than you and I did. And I embarked on this ISTE journey not just to improve my own practice, but to be a role model for my colleagues and to be able to show them that it's not just me, but there are lots of approaches out there that are designed to shift us away from owner of the knowledge to facilitator of learning experiences. And again, I think that ISTE gives us that. So in creating my portfolio, it's been pretty intense, but it's also forced me to consider the work I do, and it's also forced me to catalog my practice, which has been very interesting. And it has reminded me of the things that I used to do, such as blogging, which and I used to do a lot, and I stopped doing it. So that's something that I've started to do again. I've been inspired to start a blogging program with my students as a reflective practice. It's also made me realize there's still so much work to do, in particular continuing to develop and connect the integration of digital tools with effective pedagogy to support our learners, while at the same time supporting teachers to improve their practice and ease up the pressure of all the things that goes on in a teacher's day. An artifact in my portfolio that I'm quite excited about, and I think that also reinforces my need or want to be a role model for my colleagues, is something called My Learning to Learn project. And this is a project that I've developed over the last 18 months. I've worked with the head of school, I've worked with our curriculum coordinators, and we have finally developed this program that the idea is that it gives students a chance to explore and map their own learning processes and learn who they are as learners. And we're going to scaffold that with design thinking and computational thinking. And then they're going to be released sort of to use those processes to investigate a real world problem or just pursue a passion. And the whole point of it is that they will engage in a reflective process through the whole thing. So they're actually going to blog about that process and create a learning conversation with their peers as they go through it. So that's a pilot project that I've been developed, and it was postponed by COVID, but hoping to run it in Q2 this fall. So the portfolio that I've created actually reflects both my roles as a teacher and as a director of educational technology. So my students are my middle school students, but they're also my colleagues because a lot of my role is spent supporting them in the classroom and in also developing curriculum. So moving forward this academic year, I'll be working with grade levels and departments from K through to 12 to help educators begin their own journey as ISTE educators. And I've already been in the process of asking my colleagues to consider the standards and find out where they're already at so that they can begin a process of professional conversations to reach a point where they can decide that one particular standard reflects where their department is at. And I'm asking them to take that standard and make a commitment to work towards some sort of mastery by the end of the year. This may include particular activities that they may build out of those standards, or just simply indicating in one of their planners that this is an artifact that demonstrates one particular ISTE educator standard. So just in conclusion, I'm really found the ISTE journey quite exciting. It's been a lot of fun to, well, I shouldn't say fun, but it's been a lot of work and a big process to, like I said, catalog all of the things that I've done, and it makes me feel good that I've been able to go through my practice and see all the things that I have done. But really for me, this is just only the beginning. Having a portfolio of digital practice that reflects the ISTE standards or the ISTE educator standards is going to be a great tool for me to be able to support my colleagues and move our school forward to a more genuine, forward-thinking approach to teaching and learning. So thank you very much for all your support, and to all those other educators out there who are working to do this as well. Keep at it. Take care.
All along it's been happening, like the grind of a great big wheel. We are watching from the sidelines, wondering what they're gonna steal. One too many faces in the dirt, too many mothers crying with hurt, people rising up from the concrete slab. Well, I can live my life, thinking about nothing, hoping for a cool light breeze. Watch the light slowly sink into the hills.